Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to read another mini mystery
of
Geromino Stilton.
And it's mystery number 3, the Mouse Hoax.
Okay, so we're going to read it aloud to you. The Mouse Hoax.
Very bad.
Sorry, a strange little gift. It was a busy day at the office. The telephones wouldn't stop ringing. Hello? I answered my desk phone. Mr. Stilton, it's Mitzi Mouse. Sir, remember me? Yes, I answered my cell phone. Stilton, it's Andrew Whitetail about the manuscript. On the top of the phone calls, every few minutes someone entered my office and I lost my train of thought. Oh, excuse me, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Stilton, Geromino Stilton, and I am the publisher of the Rodin Gazette, the most famous newspaper on Mouse Island. So, I was in my office when an enormous package entered the room. A familiar snout poked out from behind it. Happy birthday, Stilton! A voice shouted. It was my friend Hercule Poirot, the famous detective. Birthday? I repeated. But today isn't my birthday. Oh well, Hercule replied as he placed the package on my desk. You should take the day off anyway. Oh, I can't, I told him. I have a lot to do today. If this screen goes black, okay? Hercule got closer to my desk. Yes, I see that, he said. You're out more. A change would be good for you. Come with me to my office. My whisker trembled at the thought of the flea-infested shack Hercule calls his office. He is a complete slob, and his office is a total disaster area. I'm sorry, I can't, I told him quickly. I really have to finish this article. Hercule sighed. All right, Stilton, I'll go. But first, can you open that little gift I got you? Aren't you even a little curious about what's inside? A real stinker. Inside the package was a painting. It was no masterpiece. In fact, it looked like it had painted by my little cousin Messy Paws, and he's just a baby. It was a real stinker. In the lower right-hand corner, there were a painters in tiles. PM. Do you like it? Hercule asked me. Yes, of course, I replied. I didn't want to offend him. But it's a bit odd. Where did you get it? A while ago, I met a rat who was down on his luck, Hercule replied. He gave it to me in exchange for some bread and cheese. Isn't it great? At that moment, one of the new editors, Katie Cheesehart, popped in. Are you ready for the art exhibit? She asked. Tonight is the opening, remember? The invitation to the show. Oh, for the love of cheese! I had completely forgotten about the art show opening of the great painter Pablo Muosehasso. Panutia Pretty Paws called, Katie told me. She and Bugsy Woogsy will be there. Ah, Panutia Pretty Paws. She's the most fascinating rodent I know. I have a teeny tiny crush on her. Ew. You can bring guests, Katie reminded me. I'll come, Hercule said eagerly. I sighed. Hercule is a very good friend, but whenever he's around, I end up in sea of trouble. Well, actually, I promised Benjamin I would take him, I replied. Right at that moment, my dear little nephew appeared. Hi, Benjamin, I exclaimed. Hi, Uncle G, Benjamin said as he gave me a hug. Is Hercule coming with us to the show? How nice! Hercule winked at me and we're all left together. The show was in Master Mousehasso's house. This guy sure has a fantastic villa, exclaimed Hercule. Shh, I quieted him. Do you want them to kick us out? At that moment, I heard the sweetest voice behind me. It was Panutia Pretty Paws. Hi! A little mouse with black braids jumped out of me and threw her arms around my neck. It was Bugsy, Panutia's Pablo Muosehasso's villa. Niece and Benjamin's best friend. I let the ladies enter first. Then I gave the invitations to the butler. Mr. Stilton, the butler exclaimed. What an honor! And are these other guys with you? Yes. This is my nephew Benjamin, I replied. And this is the famous investigator Hercule Poirot. Hercule was busy waving in his magnifying glass in the butler's face. My snout turned purple with embarrassment, but the butler didn't twitch a whisker. Welcome, he said kindly. Please climb this main stairway. On the second floor, you will see the buffet. Have a good evening. Thank you, I replied, trying to smile through my embarrassment. Hercule disappeared in the crowd. I offered my arm to Panutia, and we climbed the main entrance that led to the second floor. I was on cloud 9! The great Mousehasso's. The main hall was full of people admiring the paintings that hung on the walls. In one corner, I saw a rodent surrounded by photographers and admirers. It was Master Mousehasso's. I want to see if I can get the picture. Too, Benjamin said as she showed off her digital camera with her pride. Come with me, Benjamin. Can I, Uncle G? Benjamin squeaked. Of course, Benjamin, I said. I was finally alone with Panutia when Hercule suddenly appeared, speaking loudly as he was snacking. But chomp! That guy chomp. I chomp. Hercule! I scolded. You shouldn't talk with your mouse, fool. He just laughed. While you fill your head with art, I fill my stomach with food. My snout turned purple with embarrassment. He ignored me. Listen up, Stilton, Hercule whispered. This Mousehasso's guy. I've seen him before, but I can't remember where. I just might go over there and ask him. And he disappeared again. Panutia turned to me and smiled sweetly. Why, "Don't we go and get something to eat?" she asked. So we approached the super crowded refreshment table. I had just managed to get my paws on 2 gorgonzola tarts when a rodent asked, "Do you like my work?" The rodent stuck out his paw. "It's very nice to meet you," he said. "I am Master Pablo Muosehasso." My name is Stilton, Geromino Stilton," I stuttered. I could hardly believe I was speaking with a master artist. "I am—" "Oh, I know who you are," he replied with a smile. "And I want to offer you an exclusive interview for your newspapers. What do you say?" "That sounds fabulous," I exclaimed. "When can we do it?" "Right away," he said. "Just follow me to my studio. Naturally, your lovely girlfriend can come with us." My snout turned purple with embarrassment. I haven't yet had the courage to tell Panitia I feel about her. "Can our niece and nephew come too?" Panitia asked. "It would be a pleasure to meet them," Muosehasso replied. Meanwhile, Hercule was approaching. I didn't want him to see us. Who knew what kind of mess Hercule will get me into? By rights, he was arriving. Muosehasso mumbled something and ran off. "Taste this," Hercule said as she shoved the tart into my mouth. The tart went down in the wrong pipe. I turned red, then green, then as white as mozzarella. As white as mozzarella. Hercule hit me really hard on the back until I spit out the tart. It flew across the room, hitting countless Snowbella in the back of the neck. "How rude!" she shrieked, smacking me with a cane. "Oh, for the love of bananas!" Hercule shouted. "Stilton, when will you learn to leave a little old ladies alone?" When she heard Hercule call her old lady, countless Snowbella began chasing after him instead. I sighed with relief and led Panitia out of the way. The butler approached me. "Stilton, the master is waiting for you," he said. I called Benjamin and Bugsy. "Shall we begin?" the artist asked. "I only have a few minutes." "Yes, of course," I replied. "So, how did you become such a success?" "It wasn't easy," Master Muosehasso said. "In the beginning, I never had much money or enough to eat. Sometimes I had to give away my painting in exchange of some bread and cheese." "How strange! That sentence sounds very familiar," Muosehasso continued. "Because I remember my humble beginning, I am organizing a charity auction of a few of my works the day after tomorrow. The proceeds will help the young artists. I hope you can make it." "Oh yes," I replied. "I wondered I would be a great honor." Master Muosehasso rang a bell, and the butler appeared with 2 enormous packages. Muosehasso gave one to Panitia and one to me. "Don't open them right away," he instructed us. "It's a surprise." "I don't know how to thank you," I said breathlessly. "Oh, it's nothing," he replied. "I look forward to seeing you at the auction." What a scoop! I couldn't wait to get back to my office and write my article. Clue number 1. Why did Master Mousehasso's sentence seem familiar to Geromino?
Okay, so The next video, we'll learn how to make a cheetah, and it provides scissors.
The Master's Gift. The next day, copies of the Rosen Gazette flew off the stands. Bugsy's photos came out so well that I published one on the front page. As I was enjoying my success, the phone rang. It was Panutia Prettypaws. "Hi, G," she said sweetly. "There's a beautiful horse galloping in my painting. What's yours like?" "For the love of cheese, I hadn't opened my gift from the master yet. I'll look right now," I told Panutia. First, I read the note. "I would have preferred to paint in your office, but I wanted to surprise you. Pablo Muosehasso." Then I opened the package. For the love of cheese, it was me. My snout turned purple with embarrassment. "It is a good thing Panutia couldn't see me." Well, it's a portrait of me," I replied. "Really?" Panutia asked. "I'll come over so I can see it." "You don't mind, do you?" "Mind? I was cloud 9. I hung the painting facing my desk, right next to the painting Hercule had given me. "Now, this is a real masterpiece," I thought. "It's nothing like that stinker." Then the door to my office suddenly burst open. Bread and cheese. It was Hercule portraits. "Stilton," he exclaimed. I remembered where I'd seen Muosehasso before. He was the rat who gave me the paint in exchange for bread and cheese. He was such a terrible artist. I don't know how he ever got famous. "Well, he isn't terrible anymore," I said. "Look what he gave me." I pointed to the portrait hanging on the wall. Hercule approached it with his magnifying glass. You put it right next to the stinger," he exclaimed. "Didn't you notice anything strange about these two paintings?" Hercule was right. How had I missed it? Clue number 2. What did Hercule Poirot notice about the two paintings? "Are you okay, G?" "The same mouse couldn't have painted both of these," I squeaked. "It's quite a mystery," Hercule agreed. At that moment, Bugsy, Benjamin, and Panutia Prettypaws came in. "Are you okay, G?" Panutia asked. "I just made an important discovery," I told her. "Look, the signatures are similar. The tiles in the corner of the painting Hercule gave me are the same as Pablo Muosehasso's." "Hey, I made a discovery," Hercule protested. Benjamin picked up a slip of paper from the ground and handed it to me. "This fell," she said. "Thanks," I replied. It was the master's note to me. "Moldy mozzarella!" I exclaimed in surprise. "Look at this strange writing on the back of the note." I held it out for my friends to see. The anagram. "What does it mean?" Hercule asked. "It's an anagram," Panutia exclaimed. "A telegram?" Hercule replied. "No, an anagram," I explained. "It is a game in which the letters of a word are scrambled and need to put it back in order. Let's figure it out." Bugsy said. The first group of letters are B-U-Y. Why B-U? What does that mean? I thought and thought. A bee? I suggested. Yup. I've got it! Hercules shouted. It spells bye. Nice work, Benjamin and Bugsy exclaimed in unison. Now we need to do the same thing with the other groups of letters to make the sentence. Try to solve the anagram. What sentence do you get? Clue number 3. The coded message. The solution to the anagram. By the black letters. I was perplexed. What does by the black letters mean? I don't think this sentence was written by the master, Benjamin pointed out. The handwriting looks different. So someone else knew about the gift Master Mouse-Hasso gave Uncle G, observed Bugsy. That mouse wrote a coded message to let Uncle G know. To buy the black letters, Benjamin finished in excitement. That must be sealed if Geromino is supposed to buy them, Hercule muttered. But who would be selling the black letters? I know, Penutia, exclaimed Penutia. Tomorrow morning in Mouse-Hasso's charity auction in his villa. Of course, I agreed. The master would be selling his paintings at the auction. Maybe the black letters will be sold then. The charity auction. When we arrived at the charity auction at Pablo Muosehasso's villa in the next morning, the butler handed us a catalog of all the paintings were for sale. Then we walked around to take a look at them. If you notice anything strange, let me know, Hercule told us. He stopped in front of a painting of a lake surrounded snow-capped mountains. Do you see anything odd in this painting? Bugsy asked Hercule. Well, now that you mention it, yes I do, Hercule replied. Those clouds reminded me of Banana's movie, and those mountains look like banana cakes. I rolled my eyes. Hercule loves bananas the way most mice love cheese. Hey, Benjamin whispered. I see something strange. Look at the bottom right corner. But of course, Hercule exclaimed loudly. I didn't know what they were talking about. I didn't see any signature. I didn't see anything but Master Mouse-Hasso's signature. But then I looked more closely. But of course! Clue number 4. What did Benjamin see in the painting? The black letters. There was a black letter in the white signatures. I had to be the one of the black letters. But where were the others? We didn't have time to look at because the auction was about to start. Psst, Hercule whispered. Look in the catalog and find all the paintings with black letters. We'll buy all of them. Finding the paintings was easy. There were 5 of them. Soon we'll know what author of the mysterious note wanted to say, Penutia said. I had a sudden realization. Who is going to pay for all these paintings? Benjamin gave me a pleading look. Won't you, Uncle? I could never say no to my sweet little nephew. Of course, Benjamin, I told him. After all, there's a mystery to solve. Start your bidding. Do you want some help bidding, Stilton? Hercule asked. It's no problem, he replied. I'll offer the amount of that's a little too high to make sure we get the painting. Absolutely not, I insisted, twisting my whisker anxiously. I'll go broke. Okay, fine, Hercule pooted. Do it your way. The first few paintings were not the ones with the black letters. We watched the rodents bid. Holy cheese! The prices were so high I almost fainted. Why are they raising their paws, Uncle? Benjamin asked. To show the price that are willing to pay, I replied. Each raised paw means they are willing to pay $50 more than the previous rodent. Wow, Benjamin exclaimed. Those are some expensive paintings. Finally, the painting with the banana cape-shaped mountains came up. The opening price for the splendid painting is $500. The auctioneer said, Ladies and gentlemen, start your biddings. $500? I was about to faint from the prize. But I raised my paw anyway. $500 to the gentle mouse in the back. A lady in the first row raised her hand. $550 to the lady in front. Several more rodents raised their paws. Suddenly, a waiter came with a tray of banana cream pastry. Hercule waved his arms to get the waiter's attention. He really loves bananas, but every time he raised his paw, the auctioneer raised the price. I tried to stop him, but Hercule continued lifting his arms until finally we got the painting for $1,000. We still needed to buy 4 more paintings. And every time a waiter passed by with a tray of treats, Hercule raised his arm, increasing the price. During the bidding for the second painting, there was a tray of banana muffins. I was going broke. During the bidding for the third painting, Hercule waved for the crispy banana chips. Second painting. Third painting, fourth painting, fifth painting. I was going broke. During the bidding for the fourth painting, the tray was full of banana sundaes. I was really going broke. During the bidding for the fifth painting, I gave up. I was completely broke. But I was happy anyway. After all, the money was for a good cause. Another anagram. For the auction, we returned to my house to study the 5 paintings. So, have you discovered anything? Asked Panutia. Well, the bad letters are L, M, E, H, P, and E, Hercule replied. We knew that just by looking at the catalog, Benjamin said. Yes, but we haven't figured out what it was another kilogram, explained Hercule. You mean another anagram? I told Hercule. What does the letters spell? Let's try rearranging them a few different ways, Benjamin suggested. HEELMP? I suggested. MEEPHL? Bugsy tried. Help me! Hercule nibbled his way to the 5 bananas and drank 2 banana smoothies as we worked. Maybe it's 2 words, Benjamin said. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of consonants. I figured out! Hercule shouted. The letters spell help me. Help me? I asked in astonishment. Someone must be in trouble. Who could it be? Asked Bugsy. Hercule was so excited that he accidentally spilled his smoothie on one of the paintings. The paint smeared as he wiped it off. Look at this! Exclaimed Panutia. A hidden picture had appeared. It's a part of a map, Bugsy realized. But I think I know where the rest of the map is, said Benjamin. Hercule, can you wipe off the other paintings? Hercule didn't seem to be asked twice. He happily spilled the smoothie on all the paintings to reveal the pieces of the map. One of the paintings, however, didn't seem to be a part of the map. How strange. Hercule inspected every inch of the canvas until he discovered an 8-digit number in the corner. What do these numbers mean? Panitia asked. I don't know, but we'll figure it out, Benjamin replied. Meanwhile, Hercule put all the pieces of the map together. The map shape looked very familiar. I felt as though I had been to the place in the drawing, but where was it? Suddenly, Bugsy and Benjamin exclaimed in unison. We've got it! By my banana, I've got it too, Hercule cried. Me too, added Panitia. Do you recognize it, don't you, G? Suddenly it came to me. But of course! Clue number 5. You recognize the place drawn on the map? The last piece of the puzzle. The mystery location on the map was Pablo Muosehasso's very favorite own villa. We don't have a minute to spare, Hercule exclaimed. We hurried outside to a taxi. When we arrived at the villa, the butler opened the door. The master is not at home, he told us. He's at the ceremony receiving the Rodent of the Year award. That's perfect, I said. We aren't here to see him anyway. Let's hurry, Benjamin said as he slipped past the butler. Hey, wait a minute, protested the butler. You just can't come in here. You have to let us in, Bugsy insisted. Someone's in trouble, but the butler didn't know what to say. We just walked by him into the villa. Then when we use the map, we find the spot that marks with an X. We ended up in a small storage room in the cellar. Look, there's a little door down there, Benjamin exclaimed Bugsy. We opened the door and found ourselves in front of a wall made out of bricks, some numbering them from 1 to 9. Oh, for the love of cheese! We were so close solving the mystery. But the wall is blocking us. I've got it, Benjamin exclaimed suddenly. He pulled a piece of canvas and he pushed on the different bricks. The wall moved to reveal a secret passage. A small skinny rodent appeared before our eyes. Finally, you're here, he said. How was Benjamin able to open the door to the secret passage? Salvador Ratti. The rodent explained the whole story. My name is Salvador Ratti, he told us. I met Pablo Muosehasso many years ago. When he was kicked out of New Mouse City Art School, he was a charming mouse, but he didn't know what to do with the painting brush between his paws. I, on the other hand, was talented, but I was very shy so he made me a proposal. Would create paintings that would sign and sell, and we would go split the profits. What a cheater! Hercule exclaimed. My paintings did very well, Ratti continued. But Muosehasso was the one becoming famous. He kept asking for more and more of the money. When I told him I was tired of the lie, he locked me in this villa and forced me to work for free. That's awful, Benjamin exclaimed. The rest of us nodded in agreement. It's time you expose this hoax, Hercule announced, and I have a plan. Rodent of the Year. We arrived just in time at the theater where the Rodent of the Year award ceremony was being held. The presentation had already begun. Hercule disappeared backstage with Ratty while the rest of us sat in the last row. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Rodent of the Year award, the MC announced. The hostess turned over the envelopes. And the most important rodent in Yuma City is Salvador Ratty. A murmur spread through the room. I don't know how Hercule had done it, but he managed to change the winner's name at the last minute. Pablo Muosehasso stormed on stage, as red as tomato. Who dares to steal my prize? He bellowed. I do, Ratty announced as he stepped onto stage as well. Muosehasso gasped. How did you manage to escape? He asked. Who are you? I'm a real painter, not a con artist like you, Ratty said proudly. That's not true, Muosehasso replied. I'm a great painter. Then prove it, Ratty said calmly. Right now, in front of everyone, you will paint my portrait, and I will paint yours. Muosehasso turned as pale as a slice of mozzarella. But there was no way around it. He had agreed to the challenge. Ratty, on the other paw, seemed very sure of himself as the Enki set up 2 easels and 2 canvases on the stage. Rodent, New Mouse City, Rodent of the Year. With the trembling paws, Muosehasso began to paint. The crowd murmured softly. This was the result. Portrait of Salvador Ratty, painted by Pablo Muosehasso. Then it was Ratty's turn. He picked up a brush and in a flash painted a splendid portrait of Muosehasso. The crowd broke out in applause. Portrait of Pablo Muosehasso, painted by Salvador Ratty. The true story of Salvador Ratty. Salvador Ratty was given the Rodent of the Year award, and Pablo Muosehasso went to jail, where he began taking a painting class. The Rodent Gazette published an exclusive stories about Salvador Ratty, and it was an enormous success. To celebrate, I invited all my friends to my house for a party. Ratty was the guest of honor. It was an unforgettable night. The end. And now here are the clues. Here are the answers to the clues. So pause this video if you want to see the answers. But that's all. And that's all for the mini mystery. And I hope you like my video.
Our video.
And the next video will be about making
A cheetah that I just not showed you.
and that's all for today.
And this is the cheetah that we're gonna make, and it might be a little challenging, but you better follow the steps carefully so that you can make it as a success.
So that's all for today. Bye. Black it out.
Change.